Hi, this is Katie Weeks, your independent, close to my heart maker, and I am joining in with the Makers with Heart collaboration this month to share with you some of the newest colors from close to my heart, and we're going to use the Smile Big stamp set. I will be featuring the color Mulberry, and I will show you a nice color combination with a Triple Easel card. I'm going to be working with Sangria, Mulberry, Toffee, Peach, and Shortbread. And I'm also going to be using the Teddy Bear Hug stamp and thin cuts and some retired heart thin cuts that I have in my stash. So here is the piece that I used as inspiration. It was a swap card that I received from a fellow consultant, Alex Bum, and she sent me the instructions for how she created this. So that's what I'm going to work through today with you. My color palette was inspired from the As You Grow paper pack that is in our core catalog. I did not take the full line of colors that they used, but I did use a few of them. Let's look at the dimensions for the card. So this first one is 4 by 9.5, scored at 5.5 and 7.5. That is your card base. It goes here, here, and folds up. Then the next thing would be a 4 by 4. I also did this in white. Ooh, sorry, it's off the edge. I also did that in white. And then I have 2 that are in peach that are 3 7/8 square. 2 of those. And then my paper that has the first design is going to be 3 3/4 square. This next one is for this layer that comes under the second folded easel. And I need to put another fold in it. It is 3 by 7, scored at 4 and 5.5. I need to add a fold there. Note to self. Then we have a 3 by 3 square. And then I did the light side of the Sangria, and those I have 2 7/8 squared, and I have 2 of those, the light side of the Sangria. The next print I have 2 3/4 square. And then the smallest one here, and I need to add another fold, is 2 by 4, scored at 2 and 3. A 2 by 2 square. A 1 7/8 square. A 1 3/4 square for the printed paper. And then my stopper across here, I have a 1 by 4, 7/8 by 3 7/8. And if I can fit it on there, 3/4 by 2 is what I'm going to try to put my last sentiment on. So those are my pieces, and we're ready to start stamping and assembling. Okay, the first thing I'm going to stamp is on another scrap piece of paper. Besides all the ones I showed you, I want to stamp that little bear from Teddy Bear Hugs. Ink him up with my intense black ink. So I like to stamp whatever I'm going to color early in the card process. By doing it this way, it gives time for the ink to set, and then I can go back and color later on. So I like to stamp those items first that I'm going to be coloring. I love stamping with the intense black ink, And if I need to touch it up with my black journaling pen, that's another way to darken in something if I need to. And I will stamp these in my mulberry, since that's my featured color. Next, I'm going to work on the space. So I want to put adhesive just at the top of this, and this will match up perfectly so that these two pieces are adhered together. Okay, I've cut my pieces out, and I cut a heart out of this background paper. So let me show you what I'm going to do for this next set. So I've taken this heart out, and I want to stamp so that I can line this up and have the sentiment show through right here. So what I'm going to do is leave a border around this, put the whole thing in my Misty, and then line up where I want that stamp to show through. Close my Misty door and pick up that stamp. The next thing I'm going to do is remove that paper, because I don't want any of the stamp to get on here. And if a tiny bit of it ends up hidden, that's all right. Make sure that's snug in the corner. And I'm going to stamp this one with my Sangria ink. Some of these layers I had to stamp 2 or 3 times. I just did not keep it all in the video just to keep it short. But you want to make sure you have good coverage of your stamped image. And then I just assembled the layers together to put on that very first easel, the largest easel that's 4 by 4 at the back of the card. I also discovered how important it is that you have very well burnished lines. So make sure that as you are working on this card, you take a bone folder and you go over those scored lines really well. It'll help your easel stand up much better once everything is assembled. And we're going to assemble the second easel pretty much the same way that we assembled the first one together. It does not have that extra step of a cut out heart for the stamping, so that'll make it a lot easier. I just stamped one of the sentiments to the left side using my intense black ink. The sentiment I used reads, "I'm still wearing the smile you gave me." As you watch me continue to assemble this second panel, I want to let you know that in the description I have included like 25 or more color combinations that you can use with the color mulberry. I think these combinations would be a great reference for you so that you can design your own cards or scrapbook layouts. I used some of these looking at paper packs that we offer or going to be offering, and then I also looked at our old sugar plum color and the color combinations that were used with that. One of the colors that I absolutely loved and did not include in these combinations was Bluebell. It was our old color of the year from last year, and if you substitute it for the Sapphire or Harbour, it looks beautiful in a lot of these combinations. So the 20-some combinations that I gave you, you probably can come up with at least another 15 by using Bluebell as well. I hope you really like those combinations. And now I'm going to start assembling that front panel, and you'll notice that the heart that was cut out from the largest panel is used on the front of that smallest panel. And then I layered on some of the other ones that I stamped. I'm even using some foam tape to pop some of that those hearts up and give some dimension. And then I'm designing a stopper because the large panel uses the middle panel as a stopper. The middle one uses that smallest one as a stopper, and I need something for that smallest panel to be used as a stopper. And I'm stamping the sentiment "Smile big, laugh often." And that one will be on the base, and that smallest little easel will be stopped by that sentiment. And I'm also going to use foam tape on that sentiment to make it elevate a little bit. It makes a better stopper if it's elevated. Here I'm adding the Candid Moments die cuts, and I just adhered them to the panels, and they made nice little decorative elements. And then I am using the Muted Brown Blend Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend marker to color the teddy bear from Teddy Bear Hugs. Now, as I was doing his little paws, I noticed that even though I gave it the ink time to dry, it was still kind of smearing just a little bit. So my recommendation for that is, remember, this is alcohol ink. It spreads. So if you just kind of go through and dot, dot, dot around the spots, the ink will spread and fill in, and it won't smear. So you'll see me do that sometimes in different parts, like around his nose, I use the dot, dot, dot. And I use the light on the middle of his ears, on his muzzle, and on his paws. And then I use the darkest one on his feet, and I use the mid-tone for most of his body. And I did go back and do a little bit of blending in some of the areas, like especially around his ears. You know you've done a good job of blending if you've got a mess on the back. I'm going to allow room for things to stick out over here. These shades of the antique pink blend look somewhat similar to that mulberry. In the description below, I have listed all of the supplies that I used along with the part numbers. You can order those at kati.ctmh.com. I have also listed all of the YouTube channels for everybody who's in this hop, and I'm going to put a link to the playlist, and that will be updated as the rest of the participants add their videos. Don Haight was yesterday, and tomorrow will be Jessica, Dipzinski, I think is how you say her name. So make sure you check out their videos as well. And here is the finished card. Isn't it adorable? I also use liquid pearls. If you could hit the like button to this video, leave a sweet comment, and then hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell for all of the notifications. You will be notified every time I share a crafty video. Feel free to share this with your friends as well.